Hi, everyone. I am here with Abigail James. She is the author of The Glow Plan. She is a multi-award winning skincare and well-being expert who has established herself as one of the most respected and expert facialists. Dubbed the Queen of Skin by the Times, she regularly advises top lifestyle skincare and well-being brands. Hi, Abigail. Thank you so much for joining me to talk about your book, The Glow Plan.
It's a pleasure. I'm excited to be here.
I am so excited you're here with me. This couldn't come at a better time for me for my skin. So I can't wait for everybody to hear what this is all about. So why don't you tell me what the Glow Plan means?
Yeah, so I think fundamentally all of us want to be able to look radiant and glow. I think glow is quite a universal word, and it doesn't mean perfection. Glow for me might be different from glow for you.
Mhm.
And what I wanted to put together is a plan, and I say plan a little bit loosely because I'm not too much about too many rules and regulations, but knowledge and tips and skills that I've learned throughout my career. I've been a facialist and a therapist for it's almost 20 years now. So I've had my hands on a lot of faces and bodies and chatted to thousands of people about their skin and their health. So this is, I suppose, an accumulation of all of that I've then refined into a 4 weekly plan to help you basically age well.
Yes. Yeah, I think a lot of people will resonate with this. I actually have started having a lot of skin issues as I've turned older, eczema. And so I was excited to read through your book and see that you mentioned eczema. And, it really starts with your gut health. And it's kind of like a overall well-being. It's not just, it starts from the inside, actually.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
So whether we're talking about eczema
Mhm.
or acne or rosacea or also, I suppose, a premature aging process, a
Mhm.
lot of that is internal. We've got the genetics that we're born with. We can't fight that. That's what Mother Nature has given us. But then we've got actually how our genetics respond with the environment that we're living in or the foods that we're eating, and also the quality of all of those aspects as well, and
Yes.
then what impact that can have on presenting on the skin.
Yes, yes. It's fascinating everything you wrote about. So what inspired you to write it? So you've been doing this for 20 years. You could keep doing it, but why did you write the book?
So the Glow Plan is actually my second book,
Okay.
and I think, I suppose, from people talking to me, my virtual skin consultations that I do, or whether it's a client who physically comes to me for a treatment, there are some similarities in what I'm being asked. Yes, everybody is unique and everybody's journey in health is very individual, but across that, there's some similar themes. And I wanted to be able to help beyond those people that could get to me or afford to have a virtual consultation with me. So that's where I wanted to put it into a plan. It's not everything that I do in treatment, it's not,
Yes.
but there's, I suppose, easy themes that I feel everybody can benefit from in aging well. And I've worked on detox retreats. I've designed treatments for other brands. And, so there's a lot of background beyond me just working on the face
Yes.
that I've seen benefit. So I suppose fundamentally, I want to be able to support and help more people. Fundamentally, that's
That's
that's what it
great.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not only about looking good, it's about feeling better, you know?
Yeah. So fundamentally,
Yeah.
because we could have, let's say, the most wrinkled face in front of us.
Mhm.
We're all going to age. I'm very much about aging is an absolute privilege. It's a fortunate thing that not all of us are blessed to do into
Yeah.
our old age. So it's absolutely a gift.
Mhm.
But I think we all want to age as well as we can. But you can look at a wrinkled, mature face, but if they've just got this confidence about them, if you had them on paper, you might not think, oh, that's aging well, but dang, if they're feeling it,
Yeah.
that that's amazing. So I always also want to work on supporting people's mindset.
Yeah.
How do you feel about yourself? Because you might look beautiful, but if you don't feel beautiful, we've got some work to do there, because if you feel beautiful, that's kind of that's more than half the battle with the aging process.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's great advice. So, who is your intended audience for the book?
So good question, actually, because I know I'm asked this from my publishers. It needs to be quite specific from a marketing
Yeah.
point of view. But I'd like to think there's something in there for anyone of any age, even someone. So there's a lot of face massage in the book. And I'm not suggesting that face massage is targeted or necessary for someone in their teens because they're going to be dealing with other skin issues. But I'd like to think that some of the mental health side of things and the nutritional side of things and some tips with skincare, they could gain something from that.
Yes.
But I suppose the broader aspect of the book is probably, I'm going to say, the mid 20s to however old you want to take it, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, talk a little bit about some of the specific topics that are in the book.
Okay. So, the first half of the book, I'm very much going into how we age, why we age, what impacts on that process. And there's a bit of a scienciness to it, but in a very readable way. I'm dyslexic, so I need things in an understandable way. I also draw on some of my personal experience and a little bit of my clients, what has kind of been brought to the table as well. But instead of me just going, right, so this is going to impact when we age, and stress is going to be a nightmare for our wrinkles and our acne, and you need 8 hours sleep, off you go.
Yes.
Instead of kind of, now that we know all of that, what can we actually do to support ourselves with that? And for example, if we think of the sleep topic, we all know we need sleep, but and if you're told actually you need 8 hours, sleeping is not my superpower. There's things that I've learned along the way to help support it, or when you go through phases of not sleeping. So there's even practical things like that. So all of that knowledge in the first half. And then the second half of the book is split up into a 4-week plan. If someone follows it as a plan, the chances are they will get a better result than if they don't.
Yes.
However, I appreciate that people's lives and where they are in their own personal life journey, they might not be ready to commit to a plan. So even if they dip into the face massage and they are enjoying that face massage, that's a win for me.
Yes.
If that isn't what resonates with them, and the meditations each week, that is what they pick up, absolutely fine. There is something in that plan. Even if they dip into it, they will find a positive impact on them. However, I'd really like people to follow it. Okay.
Yeah.
Ideally.
Yeah.
So across each week, I've identified certain themes. So in the first half, right, stress does this physically to us. So what can we practically do to support that? So we've got affirmations, we have got meditations to help us manage those stress levels. I talk about vitamin N, as in vitamin nature. The impact of different aspects of introducing nature into your lives and what that can do for our minds.
Yes.
So there's a whole load of things going on in here across each of the weeks, but then there's some, right, let's talk about your home care. Are you using face wipes? Well, that's not going to be helpful to you. You know, there's then some practicalities. Food, different themes. Again, in this particular book, I'm not being, too strict, but if you want to drink your wine and eat chocolate and your coffee, that's fine, but just be conscious that this is what it's doing to you, okay?
Yes.
And then each week we're learning different face massage methods. Week 1 is all about mindset, and fundamentally I want someone to get into setting new routines, because there's no point in me jumping in with a whole load of new activity for them if actually they're not in a place where they're ready to establish new routines. So actually across week 1, that's the overriding theme across the week. So we start with a morning face massage routine, and I want you to commit to that every morning. It might take you 3 minutes, it might take you 8, but that's the commitment that I want you to make for yourself. And then we've got different themes, so we're then building on that massage skill. So by the end of the week, you might be doing some inner mouth massage, you might be doing much faster massage or much deeper or lymphatic massage, but there's been a building up of skills and knowledge across that time. And then fundamentally, beyond the 4 weeks, you rinse and repeat. Hopefully we've established some new practices that now form part of your life, so you don't feel like, if you go to the gym, you feel like you've been to the gym, and you can sometimes feel like it's a bit of a chore, but once you get into it, it can become part of your life. And this is the ideal, that some of these, you might not stick with all of them, but some of these become part of your core everyday thing, and it doesn't feel a chore.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you put this plan together, because I read the book through and I was excited. And then I thought, okay, now I have to implement this. So, but first I dabbled in some of the things. So I did some of the dry brushing. I did a cold shower. I did some little things. And then this morning I took the book in the bathroom and I'm like, okay, this is the start of my week 1. And I'm going to tell you, I did that facial massage, and my skin already feels better. I can feel like this, and I don't know if this is what your thoughts are on this, but like this tingling kind of in my skin. Is that normal?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So with face massage, or any massage, to be honest, we're stimulating the blood flow.
Okay.
And where we've got fresh blood flow, we've got fresh nutrients coming to the skin cells. So you actually might come up a bit flushed or pink, or, we're easing off muscle tension. We're stimulating the lymphatic system. So even though massage is considered quite holistic, those are all very physical things that we are physically doing to our own skin that our skincare can't do. Okay. And this is where, yes, we need the skincare. Maybe there's some gadgets you like using at home, but the physical massage, it's almost in its own little unique bracket of what it can be doing for your skin. So absolutely, there can be a zinginess that you feel to the skin.
Yes. Yes, I love it. So there are so many topics that you could cover. Why did you choose the ones that you chose in this book?
I've seen throughout my career the impact of all of those combined. So if someone comes to me and they've got some skin issues, or let's talk about just, the aging process. If they're just focusing on their skincare, as in the topical products, I've learned, I've seen, I've witnessed, we can only achieve a certain result. And I think now we expect more, we want more, and maybe like yourself, you mentioned about your eczema, on its own, the skincare isn't going to fix it, or it's not going to support it properly. And I've witnessed this over the years. You know, I'm often, someone will have tried their doctor. If we talk about skin issues now, they've tried the doctor, they've tried the prescription medication. Over years, it's not worked, or it's been worked and then it's not, and then it's worked and then it's not.
Yeah.
So then they go and see a dermatologist. Similar journey. I'm often a last port of call that someone stumbles across me, and they're almost like, well, I've tried everything else. I'm not expecting this to work, but I'm sure it won't do any damage, so I'll give it a go. And I can share, you know, I don't have them in front of me, but I can share emails or cards or things I've been sent from people going, oh my goodness, this has been life changing, not just skin changing. Because when our skin isn't happy, and unfortunately, especially on our face, it impacts on all aspects of our lives, our emotional, how we're feeling about ourselves. So, yeah, we might be talking about something that's, it might be thought of a bit frivolous, or you know, someone's obsessed with themselves about how their skin is. It goes so much more beyond that. I feel like I've got off piste with my answer. But
No, that's perfect. No, I agree. Yeah. So the topics you cover are all about working together. It's not about fixing one thing over the other. It's the whole body, the holistic. And that's what your
definitely,
basically your book is.
because I think this was years ago now. I was, you know, I might have quoted for a press article in a magazine, and I remember being asked, you know, about diet and impact on skin.
Yeah.
And when I'd be saying, yeah, these are, if the journalist, and even then, even 10 years ago, it was like, really? But does it? Whereas now it's now accepted and acknowledged that absolutely it does.
Yes.
The other thing I mention in the book is, I don't know whether you've read this little part, but psychodermatology.
Okay.
I wanted to put it in my first book in 2017.
Yeah.
I was told it wouldn't be understood, so they chose not to put it in. Basically, psychodermatology, it's a recognized, now it's recognized
Mhm.
area of how the mind impacts the skin.
Okay.
Stress.
Yes.
If you suffer from eczema or acne or rosacea, it's now, there's a physical, a mental connection to how the skin is responding. And my easiest example of how the mind impacts on the skin is, if I was to say to you, oh my goodness, I can see your boobs, you might flush.
Yeah.
It's not even a microsecond.
Yeah.
And you haven't told your brain to make your skin flush.
Yeah.
It's just happened.
Yeah.
And that's how much the mind can be connected and have a physical impact and visibility on the skin. And I'm just so thankful now that it is now being recognized, and people with skin conditions and problems, the medical profession is now really taking that side of things seriously.
Yes.
And this is where in the book, that whole, I did my yoga teacher training a good few years ago. I don't teach,
Yeah.
but that side of things was, it's so essential to all over health, and does a knock on our skin.
Yeah, I think you're onto something. Well, obviously, the whole meditation and getting your mind in order is just, I've been stressed, and I can tell you that my eczema flares when I'm stressed. So it is true. And I am so excited that there's just, I could use this book for everything. I mean, like, for just getting healthy. And it's just, so talk about how you, I think we went over this a little bit, but just talk about how you want this book to be used. Like, should someone read it through and then go back, or what are your thoughts on how you would like it to be used?
So really, I would really love people to read the first half of the book, because you might think, I just want to dip into the face massage, I just want the practical bit. However, which you absolutely can, But if you read the first half of the book, it's going to back up why we're doing certain things. I go a lot more into, there is a section in that side of things about the muscles on the face and the connective tissues. And so there's even that little bit of knowledge that when you are massaging your face, if that's your chosen bit, you're going to know a little bit more about what you're doing.
Yeah.
But to be honest, even if I didn't have the full week plan, I'd really like people to read the first part. I think knowledge is so powerful. You know, if you've got more knowledge about all of these things, you're going to be able to make better choices for yourself, for your health. So that's key with the book, really.
Yeah, because if you're understanding why you're doing something, then you're more likely to do it rather than just doing the, hey, you do the face massage. Well, why am I doing the face massage? Then you understand the benefits of it.
Absolutely. It's a little bit like telling someone not to smoke, but not giving them the reasons as to why not to, you know, the medical stuff and behind it. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So what's your most favorite part of the book?
That's a good question. I think in week 4, I talk about self-love. And to me, that is another very important part. Mm-hmm. To be honest, I think throughout the book, I've probably written this book for myself because these are things that, as much as I know these things and I support other people with these things, we need a constant reminder.
Yes.
It's not like you read something and go, oh yeah, good, right now I'm fixed.
Exactly.
You know, I need reminding about my mindset and self-love, and I need to keep going back to why my sleep is horrific. And, you know, so, but there's a particular section in that book that I talk about self-love, and I suppose how I've not been so good at that myself over the years, but the real importance of that and how that in itself can be quite life-changing. So that is probably my favorite bit. Other than, actually, my favorite bit is I think just inside the front cover, I mentioned my brother and my sister. Okay. That's probably my favorite bit.
Oh, the dedication. Yes.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. No, it's so funny because I talk to a lot of authors, and a lot of times they say they wrote the book for themselves. And that is the best book, because if you need it yourself, then chances are other people are going to use it and need it too. So, and I couldn't agree more with the self-love. And it's a great reminder to, you only have this one life here. Like, why not love yourself, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel very much that, especially, I say now more than ever, but I think every year I've been saying now more than ever, with social media and so much pressure in the world to, whether it's look a certain way or achieve a certain thing or whatever it is, we've got so much pressure on ourselves. And I think loving ourselves is probably becoming even more challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
this is where the daily affirmations come in, to remind yourself, that self-talk, because we're the most critical of ourselves. You know, we talk to ourselves more than we do anybody else, that constant voice in our head. And there's a lot of things we'd say to ourselves that we'd never dream of telling a friend.
Oh yeah.
Oh my, yeah. You know, even just this morning, I've got grey hairs coming through and even my roots do, you know, and you're going, oh my goodness, this is awful. You'd never say that to a friend, would you?
No.
You'd go, no, you look gorgeous.
Exactly. I can't even see your gray hair. And I'm serious.
But we all still do that to ourselves.
Yeah.
So that self-love, putting back the positive words into your head, it's like, okay, yeah. But like I said, it's a constant work. It's a constant, you know, job to do.
Yeah, one of my favorite lines in your book, and I don't know the exact line, but I understand the meaning behind it, where you say, especially with social media, is don't compare your behind the scenes with someone else's final image, which is amazing, because you know yourself, you know what's going on in your life, but then you go look at social media and you see someone's amazing pictures, and then you start to compare. And so I just love that sentiment in your book.
Thank you. Yeah, I think especially with social media,
Yeah.
we all put our best self out on social media.
Yes. Mhm.
I've done my hair today because A, I've got to do some filming later, but B, I'm kind of,
Yeah.
I'm having this chat with you.
Yeah.
And I, I, I feel that there is a shift
Mhm.
on social media, that people are being a little bit more real.
Yes.
But I know for a fact that the photos I post on my Instagram account that are glossy, I've got good lighting,
Yes.
get more likes
Mhm.
than others.
Yeah.
So, I know that it's human nature to kind of do that. Um, and yeah, whether it's someone in your industry or a famous person that you admire, you know, no one knows the journey that they've had to get to that point.
Yes.
I shared, I think, one of my last social media on Instagram last week. I shared a photo of me as a young therapist. I think I was about 25.
Okay.
And, hey, it's a young therapist. I've got little daughter by me. But I used to hide my journey that I had. I was a single mum of three. I was on benefits. I was struggling to put food on the table. I have been on and off of antidepressants all of my life. I had an eating disorder. So we all have a journey, but
Yeah.
people don't necessarily see that
Yes.
with, they might be like, oh my goodness, she's brought out 2 books. Oh my goodness, why haven't I done that already? We all fall into that. I
Yeah.
still look at other people in my industry. They've
Yeah.
brought out skincare ranges. I should have done that. I think we all still have that extra pressure that we put on ourselves. And it's just trying to say, we all have our own journey.
Yeah.
And I think no matter where anybody is in that journey, however outwardly successful they might be,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they've still got others that they're going, why haven't I done that yet? It's like an
Yeah.
ongoing chain of
Yeah.
people that don't feel good enough.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Well, I thank you
yeah,
so much for sharing a little more about yourself and being real, because yeah, we don't know. No, but you never know what someone else has gone through. And so yeah, to always keep that in mind, that your struggle could be just the same as someone else's. You just really don't know. Yeah.
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 I think I've learned that through dealing with people in my treatment room,
Yeah.
because often, yes, they've come to me for their skin, but as we go through a consultation, people share a lot with you.
Mhm.
Um, so everyone always has a backstory that makes them that person that sat in front of you. Yeah, so which is amazing because we're all totally unique. That's
Yes.
that's also an absolute blessing. I'm sure some of us would wish that we hadn't quite had the backstory that we hadn't done. However, that's what makes you beautiful and unique. That's
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. So, what do you think is the most important takeaway from your book?
So interestingly, I think the face massage element of this, and actually I haven't mentioned this, was on my YouTube channel. I started posting face massage videos, I think about 5 years ago. And I know during COVID lockdown, face massage just went boom with popularity.
Yeah.
And there's now a number of people online that are teaching it, and it's become really quite accessible. So that was actually some of the core thought of the book.
Mhm.
However, as I developed the book, it was going to be more a book around face massage, but it wouldn't have been, I wouldn't have been being true to myself if there wasn't an equal, if not more, presence of the mindfulness. And I I think bizarrely, I think I would like that to be the biggest takeaway from the book, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. I'm going to practice that.
Well,
So,
the other thing with face massage
yeah.
is it's a real simple, effective way of self-care
Hmm.
that makes you look good, which
Yeah.
is a double whammy.
Yes, you
Yeah,
can't go wrong with that.
exactly. So I do encourage people in the book to actually, if they're going to embark on, right, I'm going to follow this for the 4 weeks, take a photo at the beginning.
Oh,
Put that benchmark in. This is kind of where I am. If you
yes.
can, take it in the same kind of lighting or a similar setup, and just see. I,
Yeah.
I know that there will be a difference, but
Do
I'm
you,
also very much about people seeing the difference for themselves
that's a good
rather than,
idea.
yeah,
I didn't take a picture yet. I will though.
okay.
Yeah. And so is there a better light than others? So like sometimes in my bathroom, I'm like, oh, the light looks so different on my face than like natural light. So
Yes,
yeah.
natural light is the best.
Okay.
So I've got a big window just behind my
Okay.
computer.
Yeah.
Natural lighting is definitely the best.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'll take a picture in natural light. Okay. So love this book, love the cover. Where can people find it?
it is available on Amazon.
Okay.
I think in a number of good bookstores as well.
Yeah.
But I think the vast majority of people now get things on Amazon. So
Okay.
that's
Sure.
where it is. It is already an Amazon bestseller.
Oh my gosh, that's
I know.
amazing.
Yeah, I know.
Congratulations. I didn't know
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
And I can
Um,
see why. I honestly love I think I'm going to go buy another copy for some friends, and this is going to be in my bathroom because that's where I'm going to be doing all this stuff. I don't know if I'll ever memorize it all, but I'm going to have it in my bathroom.
Amazing. I wanted it to be, instead of a coffee table kind of book, I
Yeah.
wanted it to be that it could be in the bathroom, it could be in the bedroom, it could,
Yeah.
so that accessible. And you're right, actually. I think it's one of those nice gifts that you could give to someone, because you can't necessarily give skincare, because skincare is very personal, or even
Yeah.
a lipstick can be touch and go,
Yes.
whereas this is quite universal. And
Yes.
it's probably, I don't know what price it is at the moment on Amazon, but it's probably more affordable than even choosing to do an actual skincare product, and probably feels a bit more personal, maybe. Not that I'm trying to do the sales pitch on it, I'm just actually
Yeah.
thinking, yeah, i'm
Well,
I'm gonna,
your girlfriends, you go out to lunch, you go for a walk, and they're like, "Oh, I got this issue, I got that issue," and so they open up to you, and so rather than being like giving this to them because you think they needed it, you really are because it'll help them, and they've told you some of their issues, and this book covers pretty much everything. You might not everything, but a lot of things. If you can just get to the core of it,
yeah.
this book
I
does.
also I also feel for teen girls, and I'm going to say girls, just obviously for anybody, but I think it's probably going to more resonate potentially with girls. Um, but even for them, kind of giving them, there's the basics of knowledge in there.
Yes.
Um, and like I said, the confidence and
Yes.
there's that I've got, my daughter's now 23,
Okay.
and I've got two of the boys as well, but I think trying to instill some of that self-love, that confidence, that not comparing to others,
Yeah.
even that I think is good to kind of get in as soon as you can, to be
Yes.
honest with them. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I had so
it's
much
a
fun
pleasure.
talking to you. I loved
Yeah,
it.
absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Yes. Take care.
Yes, thank you. Take care.
Bye.